why would you want to get into real estate? And so what we're going to look at right here is the 2025 housing forecast. And this is actually ranking the top 100 largest metropolitan areas in the entire United States. So we're not talking about a specific Florida-specific calculation right here. So these rankings that you see on the screen are the ranks out of the top 100 metro areas. And number 2 on the list, one of the top markets in the country for 2025 is going to be the South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach market, where existing home sales are projected to be up 24%. And about in line an average of what we were looking at back in 2017 to 2019. Now, in 2025, we're looking at about 9% appreciation forecasted. So that means almost another 10% increase in values are what's forecasted for 2025. And these stats are fresh, hot off the presses. And if we compare these values, so like I said, sales right here around what they were 2017 to 2019 in the Miami market. But look at the increase. Look at the appreciation compared to property values in 2017 to 2019. Those property values are 100% more in that Miami market. Now, not far behind Miami and still making the cut for the top 10 on the list is Orlando. The Orlando market. And Orlando, Kissimmee, Sanford specifically, the metropolitan area representing that. And if we look at this, the existing counts of sales up 32% from 2017 to 2019 levels, up 15% from the previous year. We're expecting a 12% forecasted appreciation. So this is our money column right here, the values appreciating by 12%. Next up on the list, we've got Jacksonville, Florida, coming in at number 16. And if we look at the appreciation, 9.8%. So if we go down this whole entire list, we're going to see Florida, almost all of the major metropolitan markets here in Florida, because we've got Miami, we've got Orlando, we've got Jacksonville, we've got Cape Coral at number 17, we've got Lakeland, Winter Haven coming in at number 21. And again, this is not in the United States, this is in the entire country, in the United States, number 21. Number 22, right behind Lakeland, is the Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater market, where in our area we're expecting about 11.8%, so almost 12%. Orlando market might get a little bit more appreciation than the Tampa market this year, but we'll see. Anything could happen. Anything is possible. We've got number 33, the Daytona Beach, Ormond Beach, Florida market. So that's kind of like the east coast of Orlando. We've got Orlando right in the middle of Florida. You've got Lakeland and then the Tampa market. And then outside of Orlando on the other way going towards the Atlantic Ocean, that's going to be the Daytona market. So this whole area right here, I mean, I don't know why that's turning that into a triangle almost. But this whole market right here, with the exception of Jacksonville, Jacksonville is North Florida, but the rest of this, we're looking at Central Florida, Orlando, Cape Coral is a little bit further south too, Lakeland, Tampa, Daytona. But at the top of the list, we've got Miami. Down here, number 64, Sarasota, Bradenton, the Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton, expecting a 10.4% increase in home median sale prices compared to last year. So throughout Florida, Florida is, I said it once, I'm going to say it again for all the naysayers out there that want to try to prove me wrong. But when I put up the statistics, they got no statistics to come at me with instead, because Florida is booming right now. Florida is booming. Has it been even more booming in the past? Yes, it has. But that doesn't mean that it's not booming right now. We have experienced like super booms because this absolutely is still a boom. Now, one of the things I want to share with you as it relates to the market, and one of the things that's really kind of just keeping things from really exploding into what it could be even more potentially, is what I've got loaded up right here is the 10-year average of 30-year fixed-rate mortgages. And this is going to be the most common financing product that's used to purchase single-family homes, as well as condos, townhouses, any sort of residential real estate that people are going to be living in. This is the go-to type of loan. Very few people buy cash, especially when they're buying this as their own residence. And even when they have the capability of buying cash, you know, even at interest rates that we've got right now around 7%, That's going to be cheaper than any credit card that you're getting out there. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you've got a credit card with less than a 7% interest. If it's some promo thing, that doesn't count. That's just a way to get you to spend money. Same thing when you see like the car dealers and all that. But one of the things it is that you'll notice is, especially since this period right here, this is where interest rates were really the lowest. And not just as it relates to mortgages, but just in general. And over the last few years, we've had an exponential increase in mortgage rates. And that exponential increase in mortgage rates puts our current rate, when I pulled this up today here, last updated January 2nd, but this was just from today, maybe because that only goes through January 2nd. Maybe they don't have more recent data in yet. But we're almost 7%. 6.9% as the average, 6.91, which that makes the same exact price home significantly more expensive. And what that does is that prices a lot of people out. And not just does it price them out with money, but it also prices them out mentally, because no one wants to make a bad deal. Look, there's people, because these 7% rates, I mean, look at this. This has been going on since like midway through 2022. We've had the same amount of interest pretty much since 2022. And that's why home values have been relatively stagnant. And so the fact that we've got projections like this when interest rates look just like that, and even when the Federal Reserve has came out saying they're not going to cut interest rates as much, because we could get a lot deeper into that conversation of their reasons why, but ultimately it comes down is they don't want things to boom too much. They want to limit the booming. That's the job of the Federal Reserve. They don't want it to boom out of control, and so they limit the booming. But despite that limiting that they do by putting interest rates literally through the roof, you know, if we look over all these other past 10 years, we didn't break 5% until we've got into about the first quarter of 2022. First quarter of 2022, that's when the interest rates broke 5%. And all these years prior to that, we've been in a sub 5% interest rate. The last time we had a sub 5% interest rate was basically back in 2021. So there has not been a sub 5% interest rate in the last 4 years. And again, that prices people out of homes. That makes it more expensive. That makes people hesitate. Because there were people that around this time frame, they're like, okay, well, let me buy. Interest rates will go down. There's so many people still waiting for interest rates to go down. But the thing is that they bought. And yes, they're paying a lot of money in interest right now, but they're owning the real estate. And the fact that our real estate continues to appreciate despite these higher interest rates, that part of is the whole equation is with the Fed and why they don't want to cut interest rates and whatnot. And the thing is, if they did significantly cut rates back down to here, you're going to see property values go out of control, because it's going to bring down the cost of money. That's going to bring more buyers onto the market. And it's all math. Quick little plug, quick little promotional break right here. Check this baby out. Let me put it on this camera over here. There we go. You want one of these? They just came in today. Hot off the presses. We've got the Tampa School Real Estate Calculator, $9.97. You can pick it up on the campus store. We'll also have these at the career fair there if you want to purchase those. We just got these in. They'll be on the website later today. And one other thing that's really cool, if you want to keep your drinks cool, or maybe you want to keep it warm with the temperature out right now, you can do that either way with this nice little laser engraved stainless steel tumbler. So if you want to show your Tampa School Real Estate spirit, your pride, we've got tons of cool stuff like that in the campus store. But look, the math, that you're allowed to use a calculator like this on your exam. The only thing is, I don't know if you hear it. You hear the beeping? It's kind of nice. I like the beep because I like to know a number takes. But the thing is, you can't use that beep on your exam. So look, quick tutorial. All you got to do here is hit that little music note. And the beep is gone. And now you can say, well, listen, it doesn't make any beeps. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no sound coming from this calculator. You just got to make sure you turn off the beeps. And you can turn it back on right there, one press of the button. So that's the Tampa School Real Estate Calculator. $10 and $20 basically, $9.97, $19.97. Those will be on the campus store later today, along with all kinds of stuff. But look, people don't come to us to go buy a $10 or $20 calculator. These are neat little things, again, to show your school spirit. But the reason why people come to Tampa School of Real Estate is to learn the information that is not taught in regular schools, that is not taught in colleges, that is not taught in universities. I went to multiple colleges and universities, and I learned some basics of supply and demand and economics. There was one class where I learned some basic supply and demand, but a lot of this stuff was overcomplicated and out of the grasp of being able to apply this to just everyday circumstances. And so this is actually one of the things that you do learn about in not only your pre-licensing course, but your post-licensing course as well, because market cycles are very important to understand. But with the way the market is positioned right now, with the stats that are coming out with this forecast for what 2025 is going to look like here in Florida, this is the reason why you want to take action. And so we've got a career fair on February 1st. Now, you might be watching today and you don't even have a real estate license. You absolutely are encouraged to come to this career fair on February 1st, whether you don't have a license, whether you just got your license, or you've been licensed for years. It's a great networking opportunity, and it's also a great opportunity to meet with local recruiters and just find out about the different opportunities that are out there, to get yourself some new ideas, to meet some new faces, to shake some new hands, to get some free food and drinks and some giveaways that we'll have, including the FAR Bar as is contract course. We'll be giving that away for free to everyone who pre-registers and attends for the career fair. But what I'm talking about right here on the screen right now is the New Year, New Career Challenge. And so we've extended this out until this career fair in Lakeland on February 1st. Because that might be your New Year's resolution. And this is my challenge to you, is if this is your New Year's resolution, let's get this done by January 31st. Can it be done? Absolutely. We actually have a class that just started Monday. They're about to wrap up on Sunday, just on the other side of this wall right here. So this can be completed in as little as 7 days, even quicker with our on-demand options. If you pull a few all-nighters, you might be able to get that done even quicker. Probably not recommended, but if you're doing this course in 2 to 3 weeks, that's ideal. 1 to 3 weeks, because if you stretch it longer than 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that's where it starts to really make it difficult to remember some of the earlier information. Now, if push comes to shove, if you want to spend 5 minutes a day and that's all the time you have is only 5 minutes, you could get this course done in a year still. And we do give you 365 days access, and you actually have extensions available up to additional 6 months. But again, if you want to get this done in 30 days or less, there's absolutely still time for that. There's still time to get your application approved, to get your fingerprints in, to do the course. But you got to take action on all this here. And so if you want to wait until February 1st and find out what opportunities are out there, whether you're getting licensed or you're going to wait, go to FloridaRealEstateCareerFair.com and put in your name, email, and phone number. Career Fair, it's on February 1st. It is in Lakeland. It is the first one we're hosting in Lakeland. And Central Florida is booming right now. The whole I-4 corridor between Tampa and Orlando, if we go back to the stats we showed earlier in the video, those are some of the top 25 markets. I think that's what we made the cut for here. Yeah, Tampa's right there at 22. So we're in the list in the top 25 metro areas in the United States, poised for growth in 2025. And this is from a residential housing perspective here, because notice how we're looking at home prices, home sales. We're talking about residential real estate, not commercial real estate and all of that here. So if you want to meet with local brokers, local recruiters, if you want to meet with Florida Real Estate Commission instructors who teach the classes to get your real estate license, they are all going to be there. I'm going to be there in Lakeland. I'll be at our Lakeland Career Fair, shaking hands, answering questions, doing whatever it is that I can, really helping bring the whole thing together, so that way you could realize the opportunities that are out there. Because once you have a real estate license, they start to become more evident. But if you haven't even taken the class to get a real estate license yet, it's going to seem so far-fetched for some of the things it is that we talk about on here. But once you start to learn how, once you start to understand some of the basics, some of the principles, and then you start to learn some of the more advanced strategies and techniques, you really start to realize how lucrative real estate can be. And so again, if you want to find out in person, whether you want to do this full-time, part-time, on the weekends, on the nights, in the day, whenever, you are in charge. You are in control. You get to be your own boss. There's unlimited potential, and you control not just your schedule, but almost everything as it relates to how you operate your business. Now, as a sales associate, you are required to associate yourself with a brokerage, and that's why you want to come to an event like the Career Fair. And again, even if you haven't even taken the classes yet, you're more than welcome to come, talk to the brokers, ask them questions, find out about the opportunities that exist there. And what we find every time we have one of these career fairs is that people realize things that they didn't think were possible. They get to talk to people and they get to see opportunities, and it might not even be a recruiter or a broker that you're talking to. It might be a previous Tampa School of Real Estate alumni that's came to check out some of the other brokerages out there because they're not sure if they want to continue with their current brokerage. If you could see just the amount of people that are there to share their experience and their story, and the best way to do that is to actually come, hang out, meet some of the people. Talk to some of the people. Learn about real estate. Learn about the Lakeland market if you're close to Lakeland. Meet some agents in the area who you could refer business to. Because look, it is about an hour drive or so, depending on where you're coming from in Tampa to get to Lakeland. Same thing if you're coming from Orlando. It's about 2 hours to get to Orlando from Tampa. About halfway is Lakeland, about an hour away. And so depending on where you're coming from, it's a very great central area, and it's where there's a lot of activity happening. It's where a lot of people are going to look for affordability. When people look at Tampa and Orlando, the dollar doesn't go quite as far in terms of real estate as it will in Lakeland. And it's a great place. It's blossoming, it's developing, and it's your chance to get in on Lakeland relatively early for what is ultimately possible and ultimately what this will become as the Tampa, Lakeland, Orlando corridor, Tampa, Lakeland, Orlando, Daytona corridor, that whole Central Florida I-4 corridor. That is where it's a place to watch for not just the next 5 years, 10 years, but even more beyond that. And so, like I said, you want to come and meet the real opportunities to shake the actual hands of the people that you could be working with, whether that's on a referral basis or you're actually joining one of the brokers that are at the career fair. There's opportunities abound, but you gotta come. You gotta put yourself in the room. You've got to get there in person. There's a lot of value to coming to one of these events, and not just because you get to be there in person, but there's multiple recruiters from multiple agencies there to where you could find and compare side by side, and there's nothing like that out there. So that's going to be on February 1st, 2025. It's 12 to 2 p.m., so it's just 2 hours. It's not a long event, and the reason why we do that is we want as many people to stay as long as you can. You know, everybody's busy, we get that, but as a networking event, it's a great opportunity to get around and shake different hands, meet different people. Again, you might meet somebody that you end up sharing referrals with, where it could be a lucrative arrangement for the both of you. And that would be even more so the reason why you might want to make a little bit of a trip out from, again, these surrounding markets. We got somebody that's actually talking about driving up from Miami. They've got family in Orlando, but they're actually planning on driving up from Miami to come check out this career fair on February 1st. It's that serious of an event. And we're going to have giveaways as well. There's going to be free food, free drinks. We're giving away an online real estate course, an on-demand real estate course to one lucky winner. So you've got to pre-register and attend for that. Name, email, and phone number will get you. There we go. Name, email, and phone number. Yeah, look at that. It wants to move again. So name, email, and phone number are what you want to put in. Do that. Get registered. And we'll see you on February 1st. But once you're registered, if you're ready to take the next step, if you haven't started a class yet, and you want to take my word for it about these opportunities I'm hyping up at the career fair, I would encourage you to do so. Because you come to this career fair, I'm really underselling the opportunities because I don't want to go into the details. I don't want to take away the element of wow, of awe of these different brokers and recruiters and opportunities there, because it really is special, and they'll be able to speak to the details more specifically. So come to the event, FloridaRealEstateCareerFair.com. There's limited free registration because we do have to cap this at a certain point because there's only so many people we could have at this location at any given point in time. It is a physical location, so there is a limit to that. So get started with the New Year, New Career Challenge. You got 23 days left about for that to get this done, to get your license, to get this completed, because if you can get your license in this first month, that's going to show brokers that you're serious. It's going to show them that you're serious, not just about your real estate career, but about making 2025 the year that changes your life. So if you have any questions about what we talked about today, you want to talk to an advisor confidentially, more specifically about anything, ask any questions, call us up, 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. We have thousands of videos and articles and pages and content all at tampaschoolofrealestate.com. And this is available for anywhere in the world. It's applicable specifically for Florida. So whether you're in the Panhandle, down in Miami, Orlando, Tampa, wherever it may be, key. Our information is going to be relevant for anywhere a Florida real estate license is accepted. So all of Florida. So any questions you have, 813-333-2676. That's about all the time we've got for today. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back on Friday for State of Real Estate. So make sure you tune in then. Until then, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you for the next episode of State of Real Estate. The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.